Now, I've got a team that once I started to think about them and do some digging, it really intrigued me, and that's the Miami Dolphins, as you alluded to, the Florida connection. Now, we haven't spoken about them much at all because they haven't really done anything this offseason, like the Jags. But that's exactly the reason we should be talking about them, boys, because this roster is getting out of control. Now, let me highlight a few issues that they've got in Miami. Safety, that's a problem area. Jordan Poyer, who was declining at 33 anyway, he's a free agent, won't be coming back. Star Javon Holland has gone to the New York Giants. They brought in Melifonwu from Detroit, who's handy, capable, but not a star.
Or cheaper than Holland, that's why.
Certainly, and they brought in Ashton Davis from the New York Jets. But in my mind, safety's gotten worse, right? That's one area that's gotten worse. Calais Campbell, we mentioned it before, the defensive end, he's gone for Arizona. Yes, he's 38 years old, so do you need to retain him? Well, maybe not on paper, but he started every game for them last year on the edge, and he had 5 sacks that you still need to replace, so who replaces him? Chop Robinson was good in his first year, but there is Chop, your boy, but there's some real deficiency of talent around that guy. Zach Sealer, Chop Robinson, that's pretty much holding up the front 7 or the front 4, I should say, and they need some more around there. They've got the big problem now with Teron Armstead going. Yes, salary cap reasons, okay, but he's retired. Left tackle, there's a hole. And their O-line needs some addressing anyway. Their guards are probably a bottom 5 combination in the league. They then pay money for James Daniels from Pittsburgh. In my opinion, they overspend there because there wasn't that much quality in the market. So the O-line is a real issue now. And we don't need to point out, although we will, that the health of Tua has been such a massive problem that this guy can't take many more hits. Otherwise, it's potentially career over. So if any team needed to be able to protect their quarterback, it's the Miami Dolphins. They signed Nick Westbrook-Akine, which is, I think it's a luxury signing. He's a deep threat, had his best year last year as wide receiver, but we know Tyreek Hill's age. We know his issues. Are we predicting his decline from now? Did we start to see it last year? Maybe. He's potentially not the threat that he was, and then there's the Tua issue as well outside of his health. So all of that to say, it's a crucial draft, as every draft is, but people have been almost excusing the Dolphins. I've heard this a lot, saying, oh, they've got 10 picks in the draft. They've got a strong hand. Sure, they got 10 picks, but 3 of them are in the 7th round, right? So they've got their 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, like a lot of teams do. They have an extra 4th. They have 2 5ths, no 6th, and then 3 in the 7th. So they haven't got as strong a hand as people would have you believe. And this is a coach under pressure. Mike McDaniel is in real trouble if they don't have a good year this year. I hope it works out, but I'm starting to think it's not going to. So I don't know, Dos. I mean, they have, as far as defensive interior, parts of the defensive line, but especially the O-line, I think it's almost the most dire need of fixing in the entire league. It's right up there as far as needing for attention.
Yeah, and it's a aging and expensive roster.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Exactly.
Because Tyreek Hill is on a big contract. He's 31. Jalen Ramsey's 31 at corner, getting paid big money in this upcoming season. Jalen Phillips is in his prime, but keeps, injuries have been, and serious injuries have been a concern. Zach Sealer's 30 now, defensive tackle.
And Sealer had a great year last year.
He did. Yes, he did. He was very good. Bradley Chubb has had a contract restructure as
again,
well.
injuries.
Again, injuries. So it's a roster that is limited with what they can do, and that is why this offseason they have done very little in free agency, and they have let players go as well, which you alluded to, Kurt. So, yeah, they'll definitely be in the trenches in this draft. It'll be O-line, it'll be D-line for Miami, and it'll be interesting situation for them. I think 12 months' time, we'll get a good indication of the future of this thing. Because I don't think in 12 months' time, I don't think Tyreek Hill will be there.
No.
Tua will be there because he's on a decent contract, and they can't really move out of that until probably the end of the 26 season if they want. But then you're looking at Jalen Ramsey's probably a year or 2 left. Zach Sealer, Bradley Chubb, all these guys we've mentioned, and Teron Armstead, I haven't seen what they've done with the retirement of how that contract is going to be worked out, because he was contracted for 2026 as well. So how that dead cap is broken up.
A lot of it just relies on Tua and being healthy. I think when Tua plays and he's healthy, they're a competitive team. I don't think they're a deep Super Bowl run playoff kind of team, but I think when he's healthy, they're they're good enough to be competitive. If he's not healthy, if he's not playing that well, they have to go full rebuild.
I'm actually not so convinced of that anymore. I don't think it's predominantly the Tua factor. I think they've let this roster slowly erode to a point where even if Tua has a season where he plays 17 games, I don't think
Still
they're a
not-
The
playoff
roster's
team.
not good enough.
I don't think
The
they're a
team's
playoff
not-
team,
The
even
team's
with
not
him.
good enough.
I think their offense is good enough to score points. You got Hill, Waddle, Achane. If you got those guys firing and Tua's playing well, then they're going to put up points. They're all pretty electric players. They'll put up enough points. It's a matter of if their defense can stop the opposition, which we've spoken about the last couple of years. Dos, you've obviously been a big advocate on that one. But if that offense isn't firing, there's nothing else to save them.
Well, the other thing too is that this magical running game that seemed to have just magic
It was
dust 2
just
years
that
ago.
1 year, I think, wasn't it?
It was okay last year. I mean, he's a good starter. I like him, but it's not the combination that we saw with Mostert when he had his freak year of 18 touchdowns and then Achane and all that other stuff. It just sort of fell away. So I think they're a team in trouble.
If this year doesn't go to plan for them, then I would look to move on from Tua and look to start a full-blown rebuild.
So the problem is if you trade Tua, then you got to
What's the
trade
dead
him with
cap?
his contract, and then you're looking at a dead cap and the issues that we've seen other teams because his contract extension, the first year of it kicks in this season. So that base salary of
The dead cap would be huge then, wouldn't it?
dead cap this season is 137 million.
Oh, we're not
boy.
trading Tua.
So that's this season. But then if you go into 20, because it's all front ended, and if you look into the 2026, it comes down to 99 million.
Still.
So and then it's a $56 million cap hit and a $39 million base.
No,
so,
Tua's probably sticking around for a bit.
but
can I say one? Oh, sorry.
even Tyreek Hill next season is a $51 million cap hit at age 32.
Can I say one positive? Just because I don't want to leave our Dolphins fans all doom and gloom, because we love all of our diverse team fans on this show. If the linebacker group stays fit, that's an area of the roster that I really like. Jalen Phillips, Jordan Brooks, Terrell
is good.
Dodson,
Yeah.
Bradley Chubb. If you have that group and they're all good, then that's a really strong core.
I agree.
Fingers crossed they stay
They
fit.
could draft a stud at 13. They could draft someone at 13 who
Oh, they
was an
could.
absolute stud defensive side of the ball, and Aiden Hutchinson type. I know he went earlier, but
And if they
But
if they go
if they do
with Chop,
find-
and Chop was good,
yeah, if they do find someone that can play like that level, and then all of a sudden it changes everything for them.
they just have to hit with someone who's ready right now.
Yeah.
That's it. All right.
Good luck, Miami.